Hey, it's me, Vicky Marie, and this is a totally impromptu live. I've just got some time in between classes. I'm streaming to both my Vicky Marie chats and also to the my Spanish language channel, because it's suddenly I had some time in between classes, and I thought, oh, I'll do a live, and what shall I do the live on? And then it struck me, as it strikes me quite often, I talk about things going on, don't I? And at the moment, I'm looking at we're looking at the Samantha Murphy disappearance. There's the Madeline Soto case, that's in Australia, the Madeline Soto case in America. Quite often I do cases, I talk about news that's going on in the UK. And not that often that I talk about news that's actually happening in Spain, which of course is where I live. So I thought, hi Tracy, I'm going to do a video about what's going on in Spain. What's the news at the moment in Spain? So I'm going to start with the awful fire that they had here in Spain, in Valencia. And it's like echoes of Grenfell Tower. You know, it was 2 apartment blocks. Hi, David. 2 apartment blocks sort of went up in flames very quickly. Hi, Charlie. Hola. And it was just like a furnace, you know, and it was very difficult for them to put it out. I mean, they saved a lot of lives were saved, but some lives were lost also, unfortunately. Thank you, Chumba. Oh, hi, Chumba. Thank you for saying that. She says I look nice. Thank you. So that's what we're gonna look at first. We're just going to look at some news about, and this is quite distressing, I just want to tell you that. But let's look at what happened first of all. I mean, fire is terrifying, isn't it? You know, it just is terrifying. And of course, they're still trying to establish the cause. Why? Look at the, this is the burnt out remnant of the 2 apartment blocks right in the middle of Valencia in the city centre. Just awful. So it's like a big sarcophagus, isn't it? You know, which reminds me of the Grenfell fire, you know, all those people that were killed that they couldn't get out. Just awful. The thought of being trapped somewhere in a fire is terrifying, isn't it? It's absolutely terrifying. So what happened? Well, it's been drawn comparisons with the fire in London in Grenfell Tower, and it has raised concerns about fire safety standards and cladding materials. So this is what we know about it so far. So I don't think we know yet exactly what started the fire, but it's thought to have started in the left corner balcony on the 9th floor of the 2 towers. So this is so it's supposed to have started on the left-hand corner balcony of the taller tower round about 5:37 p.m. Now, unfortunately, that day it was very, very windy. It was really windy. I mean, it was windy here. I remember, you know, but not, unfortunately, not raining, just windy. Maybe if it would have been raining, it might not have spread so much, but it was just like the perfect conditions, if you like, for a fire spreading, because we've had a lot of good weather. We've not had any rain or not much rain. So it will all have been dry. The wind helped it to spread along with the flammable materials that are thought to be, you know, in the apartment building. So yeah, very sad. So this blaze, however that started, I mean, that could have been anything, couldn't it? Could have been a gas bottle exploding or something. It'd be something like that. I can't imagine what it was. We don't know what it was, basically. But the blaze spread to the balcony right below it within 2 minutes. And another 11 minutes later, almost all the left side of the building and the top of the central part was ablaze. And by 6:22, the fire had spread to the adjoining smaller tower. So that's how quick it happened, before anyone had a chance really to, call for before the fire brigade had a chance to get there. They're called the bomberos, the fire brigade in Spain, which, is always sort of a bit amusing because it sounds like the bombers. But the bomberos, the fire brigade, got there as quickly as they could, but it just spread so quickly, probably already. The people who died were probably already dead, to be honest. So why did the fire spread so quickly? And experts say that based on the videos, it looks like a combination of strong winds, canvas balcony canopies. Now they're very popular in Spain. So, on the balcony, they'll have a canopy, they call them toldos. So it's like a pull-out canopy that they can put out when it's really hot, because it does take off a lot of the heat from coming through the windows. And then, I suppose in the winter it gives protection from rain or whatever, but you can't leave them out if it's too windy or whatever. So I don't know if they would have all been actually out on that day, but there's lots of those canopies, they're very popular for keeping out the heat. Now, if it had been a hot day, which it probably was, because we haven't had much of a winter this year, to be honest, maybe people had the canopies out just in the daytime against the sun. But anyway, that's what they say. So a combination of strong winds, canvas balcony canopies, and the facade's composite cladding materials most likely helped to stoke that fire. And Ivan Cabrera, director of Valencia's University School of Architecture, told this broadcaster that just as the Grenfell Tower blaze prompted changing in British fire safety legislation and led to mass cladding renovation in many properties, the same should happen in Spain. So that fire in the Grenfell Tower in West London had a very high death toll of people. There were 71 people died in that, which was because, of course, in the beginning they were told to stay there as well. So, to stay where they were. So there was problems about that, wasn't there? But, it's very difficult to know what to do, isn't it? What would be the best, to stay where you are and wait till you're rescued, but they didn't get rescued. Anyway, that particular fire was blamed on the use of highly flammable cladding. So this particular complex is in a new residential area of Valencia that has only been developed over the last 2 decades. And 10 people have been confirmed dead after the first visual inspection. And there's an investigation been launched, but everyone has been accounted for now. So it looks like the death toll is going to stay at 10, which is bad enough, isn't it, at the end of the day? And a total of 105 people who've lost their homes, they've been moved to nearby hotels. And more than a dozen people, including firefighters, were injured in the blaze. So it was a terrible, terrible fire. And I just want to tell you about something which very sad. There were 3 members of one family died in that fire. 3 members of a family, including a little boy who was found hugging his pet dog in this tower block fire. Now, I saw this and I just thought, oh my God, I mean, I'm going to probably start crying. But what my thoughts went out to, well, obviously the family of this little boy, and I think it was his dad and his grandma and the dog, of course, that died. But also, I just thought about the firefighters. That's a very, I hope they must need counselling, mustn't they? These firemen, when they're going in after a fire, it's bad enough any sort of body recovery or whatever, but to be going in after a fire and to find sort of scenes like that, you know. So the grandmother, her son and the child were on the 11th floor apartment in Viosa. Oh, this a different fire. Oh my God, this is not even that fire. Is this another one? Oh my God, I thought it was from that fire, and this turns out to be another one. This is in Villa Joyosa. So this is not Valencia. Gosh, when I saw it, I just thought, I just connected it to the fire in, oh my God, this is another one. 100 people evacuated from the high-rise building. Why is it that once one of these things happen, there always seems to be another one shortly afterwards? Or would it not have been as reported? This is in Villa Joyosa. This is in Alicante. Oh God, this was just recently, 2 a.m. on Monday. Again, strong winds. We've had a lot. It's been so windy here. So around 15 people needed treatment for smoke inhalation, but have since been discharged from hospital. Oh, so this is one particular flat. Oh my God. Well, it was lucky it didn't go the same. Maybe the reason that it's been reported on Sky News is because of the other fire. That's why when I saw it, I just assumed this was part of the other fire. Oh God, so more tragedy. But the thing is, the point that I'm trying to make, which is valid, whatever, is imagine, for firemen, we should, any responders, the things that they have to deal with. I just don't know how you go and find that, and you have to recover the bodies, and you see, what's happened. How do you go home and, hug your kids and have your dinner and whatever? I mean, it just, thank God for people. Someone's got to do these jobs. Thank God for people that can do it, isn't it? Very sad. Oh God, that's another one. That's even worse in a way, because I didn't know. I mean, it doesn't matter where it was at the end of the day. It's lives lost. But just the thought of there being another fire. Well, it was lucky that didn't turn out like the other one. Maybe the cladding is different there. So you could, oh dear, I wonder how do these fires start? Because I must admit, I always think, I'm always feel a bit like in Spain, since I've lived in Spain, I've always felt you're less likely to have a fire, but it just all seems to be about fires at the moment. Oh dear me. Anyway, so that was the first thing I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about the fire itself, but also really particular, just wanted to talk about that, about how it must be for responders to have to cope with that, finding a scene like that. I just don't know how they do it, but thank God somebody does it. So there are there are people who do those jobs, and we should, all respect to them, because that's just awful, isn't it? Now, we have these gas bottles here that people use a lot, that Charlie's mentioning there. I don't have any in my house. I have no gas in my house now. I used to use gas bottles for a heater. They're really good. The Calagos gas heaters are really good in the winter, but you only really get maybe 6 to 8 weeks in the winter that you feel cold. I feel a bit chilly today. That's why I've got my scarf handy, because I've got no heating in my house. And it's a lovely sunny day, but it's always cold in the house. So I did used to have a Calagas heater. I've had a gas water heater at one point, but not now. It's all gone. No gas in my house. So I suppose, though, a fire could always start with an electrical problem, couldn't it? Anyway, so that's the first thing I wanted to tell you about the fact that fire in Valencia, and then the other one that I didn't realise was in another place in Villajoyosa. Gosh, it just shows you've got to be so careful. You have got to be careful. Sometimes I'm not so careful with electrical things. You know, my daddy always used to turn everything off at night, like every single electrical point, you know, was turned off. I'm a little bit lax with that, but I think I'm going to start doing that. Make sure everything's turned off. It's really scary. Anyway, that's the first thing I wanted to tell you about. So there's 3 things I just wanted to talk about. Let me put those down. Now, I don't know if you've heard or not about this. This is a big case of big news in Spain and India at the moment, because a Spanish tourist, an influencer, a Spanish influencer, well, she's Spanish nationality, if you like, or a Spanish resident. I think she's South American originally. And she and her husband were doing a tour of India on a motorbike. She does travel vlogs, you know, like, so they were touring a lot of places, not just India, but they were in India, and they on this motorbike, and they stopped and put up a tent, and you know, to they've been sort of traveling and living out of tents, etc., on this big adventure. Well, at the same time, she's been recording it and putting it on her vlog, and she was attacked. They were attacked in the tent, allegedly, of course we have to say allegedly, by 7 men, and she was RAPD'd by these men. And anyway, let's have a look at the story. The men have been arrested. So this is the other big news in Spain at the moment.
The brutal gang rape of a Spanish woman has not just shocked the country but the whole world when 7 men in Dumka of Jharkhand on Friday night gang raped a Spanish woman. The woman was with her husband traveling from India to Nepal via Dumka in Jharkhand, had decided to take shelter in a makeshift tent in Dumka.
Now, you know, and I'm not India. You know, maybe I'm wrong, but I never feel that India is a safe place for a woman to go to. I'm not saying she shouldn't go, and of course, she probably felt safe with her husband, etc. But they seem to have a problem in India with even the Indian news is talking about it. There are a lot of RAPEs. Sometimes, you know, it's just a problem that there is there. Now, that should not stop you being able. You should be able to go to these countries and these places and be safe. But seems like you're not.
Late evening, when they witnessed 7 persons coming to their tent and started looting and beating them. The woman has alleged that.
So apparently robbery was like the original motive. They started beating them. Now this video is from the Indian news where they are hiding the couple's eyes, but they have done this video. I think I might have the actual video with them talking as well. Anyway, we'll look at that in a moment. Let's just carry on with this for now. It's been all over the Spanish news as well, of course, but that's all in Spanish, so.
That she was gang raped by 7 men, and they all fled after the incident. Later, the police intervened and had registered an FIR where they had named 7 accused in the FIR, and the charges of rape was leveled against them. Only 3 of the 7 accused have been nabbed so far, and the police
He said nabbed. I've been nabbed so far. They have got all 7 of them now. So this is interesting. Now they take them into the custody in India. So they've got these black hoods over their eyes so they can't be identified. It's interesting that.
are investigating into this matter. They have set 2 sets of SITs in this matter, one to expedite.
And they had a rope tied round his waist. Gosh.
The investigation, and the other to nab the other 4 accused in this case. The National Commission of Women has asked the DGP of Jharkhand to expedite the investigation and nab all the accused who are still absconding even after 70 hours of the alleged incident which happened in Dumka. There are political war of words going on in Jharkhand where BJP
It says they stayed in the tent because they couldn't find a hotel nearby. Gosh, I wouldn't feel safe in a tent anywhere, to be honest. I hate camping with a vengeance. I know a lot of people like it. I find it uncomfortable, unsafe. You know, if it wasn't people you had to worry about, these wild animals. And never forget that poor boy was it in Iceland, who got attacked by a polar bear, came into their tent. I mean, a tent is not proper protection, is it? I'd rather be in the car, to be honest. Rather sleep in the car than sleep in a tent.
leaders are claiming that the Champai Soren government is unlike the Hemant Soren government, who had shielded the criminals in the state, the mafias in the state, and now the disgrace that has been brought to the state has, in fact, put India in a backlight around the world.
This very shocking and disturbing incident has come to the fore. How do you see this, and what is the action that the NCW is now planning to take in this entire matter?
It is a very, very shocking incident, and NCW has already taken the cognizance. We have taken the suo moto, and my member reached the lady within few hours of the reporting.
Yeah, now it's always interesting to me about India because I always think of it as a place that I would not feel safe as a woman. And of course, and another reason I wouldn't want to go to India is too many people, you know, too peoply for me, India. But also, another reason maybe I wouldn't want to go there is because there's a lot of poverty, you know, so I don't think I could feel comfortable walking around sort of looking at all the poverty, etc. But the interesting thing about India is, of course, India has had, you know, 2 female presidents or prime ministers, haven't they? But then, of course, Benazir Bhutto, she was that India? She was, of course, assassinated. And then was it Imran Gandhi or, you know, I've got to admit my history knowledge about India is not brilliant. But I was thinking there have been very powerful women in India. So they're not completely, you know, quite often it's a very matriarchal society, and often women have a lot of power in India. So, but still, you know, just the thought of staying in a tent, as I say, anywhere, even in Spain, anywhere, unless it was on a recognised campsite. That's that like wild camping, isn't it? That sometimes people do, just put a tent up anywhere. But I would rather sleep in the car with the door locked. At least you can lock the door and feel safe. In a tent, how can you feel safe in a tent? I just don't understand it. But anyway, I want to show now they have all been caught now. All the 7 have been kept. 5 more accused people have been held. So there's 7 in total Now, let's have a look. It looks like they're going to hang them, doesn't it, with the bloody rope and the black things over there. I mean, I don't know what the punishment is for rape in India, but hopefully it's not hanging. But that's what they look. They look like they're going to lynch them up. I take it this is the forensics or whatever that are out there.
एक और 2 तारीख की रात्रि को दुमका जिला के हंसडीहा थाना क्षेत्र अंतर्गत कुरमा हाट के पास 2 विदेशी नागरिकों के साथ लूटपाट किया और उनकी पत्नी के साथ दुर्व्यवहार किया गया था। इस संबंध में कांड दर्ज किया गया और अनुसंधान प्रारंभ किया। इसी क्रम में दूसरे ही दिन 3 लोगों की गिरफ्तारी हुई और वर्तमान में उस घटना में शामिल सभी अभियुक्तों की गिरफ्तारी पुलिस द्वारा कर ली गई है।
So they've all been arrested, he's saying now.
और उनके खिलाफ पर्याप्त साक्ष्य है। हम लोग वैज्ञानिक तरीके से अनुसंधान कर रहे हैं और जल्द ही चार्जशीट कर स्पीडी ट्रायल के लिए हम लोग माननीय न्यायालय से आग्रह करेंगे और उन्हें कड़ी से कड़ी सजा मिले। इसके लिए हम लोग हर वो प्रयास करेंगे कि उन्हें कड़ी से कड़ी सजा मिले।
सर, उनके बहुत सारा सामान भी छीना गया था, क्या उसका कुछ पता चला?
उनके सामान में घड़ी वगैरह जो गया था वो हम लोग ने बरामद कर लिया है। घड़ी बरामद हुई है और कुछ सामान बरामद हुए हैं। पैसे नहीं मिले लेकिन बाकी सामान मिल गए।
सर, एक सवाल था कि पहले बताया
गया, बातचीत के क्रम में उन्होंने बताया कि लगता है 7 से ज्यादा लोग थे, करीब 8 के।
So it seems that they've got their possessions back, but not the cash. I mean, the thing is, that's it. You are a target as a tourist. In Spain, you are. You know, there's a lot of robberies in Spain. The gangs, etc., sort of target where they know people are on holiday, because people tend to come on holiday. They do leave I call it's like their holiday brain. You know, people do things when they're on holiday they wouldn't dream of doing when they were at home, like leaving their door open or leaving their stuff around. You know, people are very cautious, like where they live, but they come on holiday and they seem to think that nothing can happen to them. You know, it's like, but you have to be just as careful because there are gangs out there that specifically target tourists because they know tourists will be easy to rob, and 2, of course, they'll have cash. They tend to have cameras or things that are easy to sort of take away and sell on, you know, phones, etc. So, you know, as a tourist, wherever you are, you know, not just India, not just Spain, London, you know, any area that you go to as a tourist, you've got to be extra careful, not less careful. But, you know, like for me, somebody who's coming here from Manchester, where you've got to be careful, God, you know, you can't leave anything down for a minute, and it will be, you know, you've got to be really careful, you know. But then when people come to Spain, they don't feel, you know, they don't follow the same, they're not as careful as they would be if they were in Manchester, but you should be just as careful, if not more.
के करीब में थे और फिर हम लोग ने गिरफ्तारी किया और उनका कन्फेशन लिया, कन्फेशन स्टेटमेंट लिया। उसमें पता चला कि इसमें इतने लोग थे कुल। अभी इस पूरे मामले में हम लोगों ने फाइनली 8 लोगों को गिरफ्तार किया है और उनके खिलाफ चार्जशीट करेंगे और कड़ी कार्रवाई करेंगे जिससे उन्हें कड़ी से कड़ी सजा मिले।
It's quite quite sinister, that, isn't it? Having them there with the ropes tied round them and the bags over their head. You really do feel like they're going to take them out the back and sort of lynch them up or something. I know, you know, I know a little bit about how it is in India because a friend of mine, her boyfriend's was from India, and you know, when it's a different, you know, it's complete. Every country has its own system, doesn't it? And it is completely different from what we would expect from the police, etc. Yeah, I don't know what the sentencing laws are. I don't know. Will it be a death? I don't even know if they have the death penalty in India or not. I just don't know, to be honest. I have to look into that. I don't know what sort of sentence they're looking at. If of course they're found guilty, but I'm presuming there's DNA evidence. It's sort of funny, isn't it, how they paraded them, like, you know, and you wouldn't want to mess with these guys. They look quite serious, don't they? They remind me a bit of the Guardia Civil here in Spain. You definitely won't want to mess with them. It's like they've got them on leads, isn't it? It's really weird. That, do you imagine doing that in the UK? Very interesting, isn't it? I've got one more that I want to just show you, which is, let's see, this is the actual couple. Yeah. So I'm going to share this. This is the actual couple speaking. They're speaking in Spanish, but maybe I'll be able to get, maybe they'll be able to get the subtitles up. But anyway, I'll be able to tell you what they're saying. So I'm not sure why they're covering their eyes in some videos. Some of these videos that I've seen, they're not covering their eyes. I mean, they made this video. But anyway.
Nos han asaltado en la tienda, nos han golpeado, nos han puesto el cuchillo en el cuello que me iban a matar. Y a Fernanda la viola.
So what he's saying is that they hit him, they put a knife to his throat, that, well, you know, and then started attacking her.
7 tíos, hijos de puta.
Pues bueno, ya os contaremos más.
Contaremos más.
Vamos a ver qué tal estamos con la policía.
So they're in the hospital when they were making that video, and they said we just couldn't do anything more, but thank God we're alive.
The brutal gang rape of a Spanish woman has not just shocked the country but the whole world when 7 men in Dumka of Jharkhand on Friday night gang raped a Spanish woman. The woman was with her husband traveling from India to Nepal via Dumka in Jharkhand, had decided to take shelter in a makeshift tent in.
Yeah, this is the video that we watched before. So yeah, I mean, it has been on Sky News as well. Let me see if I can find it on Sky News. You know, it has made it over the channel to our news. I mean, I could imagine for India, of course, it's terrible because India, you know, they are trying to sort of improve their reputation, encourage tourism. India is one of the very, you know, is what could I say, an expanding economy, isn't it? The Indian economy is really expanding at the moment. Hang on. Anyway, I can't find the thing one, so never mind. Never mind. Anyway, so that's another big story at the moment in Spain. So yeah, none of us. Well, I won't be going when I'm going on location. I'm going on location soon, but I won't be going to India. Put it that way. I definitely will not be going to India. Okay, so the last little bit of news that I want to talk to you about is the disappearance of Ana Knezevich in Madrid. And there is no news really. The police are playing that very close to the chest. Just to refresh your memory, Anna is 40 years old. She went missing after from her apartment building after some guy, all dressed in black with a crash helmet on, spray painted black the CCTV of her apartment and the doorbell TV thing. And then just after that, Anna disappeared and has not been seen since. And even worse than that, some strange messages were received by her friends and her family that seemed like they were not from Anna, and that they had been translated into Spanish and English, because Anna is a Colombian national, so she's a Spanish speaker. And texts were received that looked like they'd been through Google Translate. So anyway, it took a while, I think, for the police to take it seriously, and that she hadn't gone of her own accord, because in these messages, supposedly she said that she'd met some random guy on the street, made a connection with him, and she was going off to spend a couple of weeks at his holiday home not far from Madrid. And all her friends and family say she would just never do that. You know, this is supposedly some guy she just bumped into on the street, and then the next minute she's supposedly gone off for 2 weeks with him. She didn't meet her friend as arranged. She was supposed to be going to Barcelona for a day trip with her friend. She didn't turn up. And since then, nothing's been heard from her. Now, Anna is married, but she's going through a divorce with her Serbian husband. And there's been a lot of, obviously, because there's been a lot of suspicion cast towards him, because, I mean, his lawyer says that the divorce, they're not divorced yet, but that their separation was friendly. But then some messages came out from Anna's friends, which showed that it wasn't as friendly as he was trying to make out it was. And in fact, Anna's husband, David, he had an affair with someone else. He'd treated her really badly. He'd left her like a dog on the streets of somewhere in Serbia, you know. So it turned out that all that he'd been saying, that it was this amicable divorce, wasn't actually quite so true. Anyway, her friend Sanna, who is Swedish, she has been trying to, you know, she put a lot of pressure on the police and the FBI, because Anna is an American citizen, even though that's not where she was born. She's an American citizen. That's where her home was. So apparently the FBI are involved. And it was Belgrade. Thank you, Charlie. That's right. Supposedly left her like a dog on the streets of Belgrade, she said. Anyway, so her friend Sanna has been trying to raise awareness, and I have been in touch with Sanna, and you know, she's just trying her very best to get the awareness that she can from a long distance, because she's in Sweden. So she's been to Madrid, but she doesn't speak Spanish either. So, you know, it's quite difficult. But then you've got Anna's family. They do obviously speak Spanish because they're South American, you know, background. But they're in America, so they're a long way as well, you know, so it just must be awful for them. But apparently now the FBI are very, invested now in this case. And I just want to show you Sanna's latest post that she put on her Facebook about it. just see. You know, it must be frustrating for her. She just wants to keep the attention on this case, and that's what I want to do as well. I know the Spanish police, if you think British or American or Australian police play their cards close to their chest, in Spain you just won't get to hear anything. There'll be nothing until actually an arrest is made. But anyway, this is Sana. Let's see. Oh, why can't we hear it? Oh, there you go.
Know any information in regards to the investigation. Today is a month since Ana disappeared, and we still don't know any.
So she made this video when it was exactly, this is Ana here, Sana, her best friend. She made this video after Ana had been missing exactly a month, just to let people know what was happening. But she doesn't really know that much.
Any information in regards to the investigation. The case is top priority in Spain, and FBI is fully involved, but they are not giving any information in regards to any leads that they may have. And as much as I understand that, it's very frustrating. We have so many questions, but no answers. I'm trying to stay strong for Ana. It feels a little better this week. It was just shock the first, second, and third week, but I feel now a little bit more stable. But it's very hard to deal with still. I understand that a lot of time has passed, but I am very hopeful that
Now, yeah, it must be bloody awful because you just feel so helpless. There's nothing you can do at all, and you're so far away. And again, a bit like the Samantha Murphy case, really, the best case scenario is that somebody has kidnapped Ana and she is alive somewhere. You know, that is what it's awful, isn't it, when you're sort of hoping for that? You're hoping that somebody's been kidnapped, because at least that means if they've been kidnapped, you know, even though there might be awful things happening to them if they're being assaulted or whatever, at least they're still alive. You know, and that is really this, or, you know, there's no way that Ana has just gone off on her own without contacting her friends or family. She was constantly messaging friends and family. She told them that, you know, ins and outs of her daily, you know, when she did her hair, when she had her nails done, she told them every detail of what she was doing. So there's no way she's just disappeared off the face of the earth without even telling anybody what she's doing. So unfortunately, either some foul play has become of Ana, or she has been kidnapped and is alive somewhere, and that makes you feel that maybe she'll be released one day. That's almost the best we can hope for.
She will return to us one day. And thank you all for all the support. It really means a lot. Please keep thinking about Ana, and please keep hoping for her safe return. Thank you. Today is a month since Ana disappeared.
Okay, so yeah, that's all we can do really, is hope for, you know, I'll just keep talking about whenever there's anything to say. You know, keep her name out there, think about, pray for her, you know, like it's, you know, what else can we do? What else can we do? You know, yeah, there'll be a lot going on, I reckon, there, but behind the scenes. Because although the CCTV was painted out inside the apartment block and on the doorbell, and that does look suspicious, surely there'll be other The thing is, she's not in that apartment, you know, and there were no signs of a struggle either, or, you know, no signs of robbery, no signs of forced entry, you know, which it did make me think, you know, maybe it's someone from the apartment block who had a key, or, you know, I don't know if she was in like an Airbnb or something like that, but then the actual spraying of the CCTV, etc., to me looked like it was something professional. And then that makes you think, has someone taken out a hit on her? There's a lot of money involved in that divorce because, you know, they were quite wealthy, or they are quite wealthy. You know, so there's a lot of different, but of course it may be nothing to do with the husband. But the husband was a little bit suspicious. He would not go to Madrid. He immediately got a criminal lawyer, a criminal defense lawyer. That just seems strange to me. Why do you need a criminal defense lawyer before you even know if anything criminal has happened to Anna? You know, it just seemed a bit odd to me, but anyway. But yeah, they'll be checking all this. So she was in that apartment. How did they get her out of that apartment? You know, I know they've sprayed the CCTV from inside the vestibule, from inside. But, you know, thing is, it doesn't look like they killed her in that apartment, because there was, well, as far as I know, there was no DNA found. They said there was no sign of, you know, struggle or whatever. So, you know, or did they sort of just forcibly remove her from there, get her into a car and take her off? I hope so. I hope somewhere, you know, she is okay, even though she's been sort of removed against her will. I hope that she's okay, she's safe and well, and it may turn out that she is returned to her family and friends. I hope so. But at least the FBI are on it. They're working in conjunction with the Spanish police. What more can you ask for, really, than for the FBI to be, you know, I think we can all agree the FBI, you know, they're pretty good, aren't they? So let's hope for the best. Yeah. Tracy, I don't think she ran off. I just don't. She just from what you see when you watch all the videos of her and everything, she doesn't seem like that sort of person that would just, you know, she had had some depression problems, but who hasn't? You know, sometimes when they put this out, you know, is there any one of us, or there won't be many of us, that if they went to our doctor to get our medical records or whatever, that we've never been to the doctor and said we're feeling a bit fed up or we've got some problems, or, you know, I think that's, I don't think that, I don't know enough about it really, but probably, I personally do not feel that she's gone off on her own accord, but time will tell. Okay, so I just wanted to tell you some Spanish news. I will be doing a live tonight. I'm going to do a live tonight. I'll be on tonight around about 9 o'clock Spanish time. I will post that up later. Thank you for watching. Thank you for you at home for watching. Thank you for those participating in the chat. Thank you. Don't forget to leave your fingerprint on the like button. And if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. It's absolutely free. Okay, so remember to live and love wisely, carefully. Turn all your electrical things off at night. We don't want any more fires, do we? And yeah, I'll see you really soon in the next video. And until then, may your God go with you. Bye. DNA on the button. That's another good one, David. Oh, you're on fire, David. Oh, sorry, I was joking when I said that. Bye. Bye. Oh, we haven't turned it off. Bye. Adios.